Welcome back once again. It's New Mutator, and I'm bringing you game one of week two of Myth Kickballers, which is it's not exactly a tournament. It's not exactly a league either. It's just kind of like a 3-week event, it seems, put on, basically organized by Rat King. He volunteered to put this together to kind of facilitate some competitive play in the off season of Myth, which is basically whenever there's not a tournament. So that happens to be right now. These games were played last Saturday, and it's taken me this long to go ahead and cast them. But unfortunately, the week before, in week one, I was captaining and I didn't win. However, Donsky did win, so he's going to be one of the captains for this week. Opposite him is going to be Rat King himself, who volunteered to captain. I guess because nobody else wanted to, believe it or not. So the way it worked, I think, was Donsky chose first, and he chose Giant Killer General. Big surprise there. And Rat King chose second, but I think he got 2 picks. So I think he got Adrenaline and Kruniak, if I'm not mistaken. Then after that, Donsky went with Arsenic. Rat King went with, I believe, Kremisi. Donsky went with Sasper, believe it or not, who, remember, was on the Deer team of the Myth World Cup 2012. And he was kind of one of their heavy hitters, I suppose, but I don't think he's played in a while. So I don't know. We'll see how he does in these games. And then after that, I kind of forget what the order was. But for Rat King, he also chose Sam the Butcher, Ankulator, Lovelot Bear, whom I believe is Paladise, and Heart Attack, who is like a mystery player. I have no idea who that is. If you happen to know, just write in the comments who you think that is, if it's somebody that I might know. And then Donsky actually picked up some players that I don't know, might have hurt his chances, especially since we can see he's not taking very many units for himself, only 2%. So for instance, he took Vi for Power, who's not a bad player, but probably pretty good in like a more of a support role. Father Xmas, who none of these are bad players. It's just I've casted a lot of games where Father Xmas just had way too many units and just let them all die horrifically. And then he also picked me, and I'm not really sure why he did, why he decided to do that. But I guess he believed in me or something like that. And then he also picked up Spartane Ken, who I don't think actually realized what was going on. And so a lot of these players are going to be moving up in the north. So we have Father Xmas, Spartane Ken, and Vi for Power comprising this northern force for Donsky's team. And then in the southern force, we have Giant Killer General with the Tro. We have Adrenaline for Rat King on the Tro, and they're basically going to be shadowing each other. Also for our team here, we have Sasper and Arsenic, who are going to be kind of our main forces, I guess, here in the south, trying to push into enemy territory. This map is actually called Highlands. You can probably recognize the weird island and sounds emanating from the lake in the center of the map. And it is flag rally, so the team to tag all 8 flags first will be the victors this game. I really think Donsky, seeing as how he's probably one of the better players on his team, I really think that he should have taken more units for himself. I'm not sure why he decided to take as little as he did. Maybe he thought, he would just defend here. I don't know if that's him there. I don't know where he is, actually. Where is Donsky? But as we can see here, like, I had these units, and I was just able to kind of slip past this force. And basically I wanted to take flags, so I tried to zero in on this flag, and my goal was to reach flag 5 and maybe take that. But seeing as there's like a lot of defense on this flag, I don't think that would have been wise for me to do. The other interesting thing is, has anybody noticed that flag 5 has 2 flags on it? I just don't know if anybody's actually noticed that or not. Kind of weird. It's the only flag that's like that from what I can tell. None of the other flags are quite like that. So we can see here I'm taking that flag there. I don't know if a whole lot has happened. Let's see. Somebody lost a warlock. I think what happened was I wasn't able to catch that in this cast, but I think Arsenic accidentally took out Sasper's warlock. I could be mistaken though. So flag 7 is actually kind of like a stronghold for Rat King. Like, we really wanted to move in and maybe wrest control of that flag. However, we were able to tag it at some point, but we're kind of backing up, as you can see here. I think what happened up here was GKG noticed that I had these, so he asked for them. I gave them to him, and in return he gave me these ones here, which I'm perfectly okay with. As Ankulator is kind of all by himself in this kind of location, and he's separated from the rest of his team. Kremisi's putting on the pressure with his units here. In the north, you know, our north is basically doomed because Kruniak is just going to push that back. I don't know if our north ever stood a chance, but we're basically going to move in and try to take out. I don't know why I didn't move in with these Mercuria. I think I was trying to like keep these mauls in between this warlock and my units. This one, this Mercuria went berserk. He's basically going to run in there and try to do damage. Luckily, he aggroed on that warlock, and that enabled us to kind of move in and try to see if we can take that out. And so Sam the Butcher's not doing a whole lot this game. I think Kremisi's basically the one that's kind of pushing back our force, although he does manage to take a little bit of damage here from the Soulless. Arsenic trying to poke at it and drive him back. So Sam the Butcher's, I guess, is going to try to move in here. But if you look at the percentages, even though we managed to utterly destroy Ankulator in kind of this middle area, we are down quite a bit, like 15 percentage points at this point in time. Although we did manage to take control of the game, we are currently in the lead because I guess somebody may have, I guess we took this flag 2, believe it or not. But Spartan Ken, I don't know what he's doing. I think he's thinking that he's going to defend this flag, but he's just going to get blasted, and Adrenaline's just gonna eat him up here, eat him for breakfast. So Spartan Ken just got obliterated. We're 20 percentage points down. Our northern force has nothing going for it. Kruniak is going to try to move in, do some damage. Luckily he doesn't. Oh, he does. He does lose that. He loses one of his mortars there to, who was that? Vi for Power, taking him out. Nice. Good job, Vi. But in the south, there's kind of another thing going on where we have, I'm going to make this smaller just a little bit, where Kremisi and Sam the Butcher are kind of knocking on our door. Our forces, Arsenic and who is our other player? Sasper, trying to take Sanctuary on this hill here and maybe retain an advantage, as you know, Rat King's team does need flag 6 here, so they're, in any case, they're kind of poised to defend it, but I'm a little bit worried for Vi for Power and our northern force here. I'm kind of over here in the backfield, scoping it out, looking to see if possibly we can take this flag, but it just doesn't look like we can. Although, if I were to turn around, this might be rushable if these units continue on their way. So I don't know, maybe I could have taken this game had I just stayed there, spacebarred, and then moved in later. Although nope, doesn't look that way, as Rat King is going to move those units back. And that was the sound of Kruniak getting a monster shot off on somebody's units. I think that was Vi for Power's units. And Kruniak just one of these mortar dwarves just decimated our forces.
Imminent.
And Vi for Power is going to lose like basically all his units here. I don't know who this is. Father Xmas, why are you even doing? Why? What are you doing? basically throwing his units away, suiciding, running away, but taking damage. Like that is not how you do a rearguard action. Basically getting his units softened up for the kill later on. All of our units, it seems, are basically moving back to our last flag, because although we haven't taken the last flag we need, which is flag 5, we are kind of in the lead. So if this game were to end here, and so we see like a 26% differential at this point, if the game were to end here, we would actually win, believe it or not, because we took more flags first. As long as we can hold on to flag 6. So we're hoping for an epic defense. Actually 27% differential at this point, which is, it looks pretty hopeless for us. Although, that was kind of a nice shot. Sam the Butcher getting utterly destroyed by Sasper with a nice shot there. And Arsenic moving in with a couple of these units. So actually a lot just happened. A lot of artillery was taken out from the southern force there. So now it's looking to be more like a 10% differential, whereas it was 27% just a few moments ago. Once again, Giant Killer General asks for Mercuridia, and I believe that I hand those to him. So Donsky and myself, and Spartane Ken, who threw his units away, 3 of us don't have any units at all, and which is kind of a shame, because Sasper actually has 2 Mortar Dwarves, and I was wondering, like, if I had seen that, possibly, I don't know if it would have changed anything, but possibly we could have held off. I mean, you know, it's a lot easier to use them effectively when you're using them 1 at a time. It's really hard to use them 2 at a time and be effective. And here we have GKG taking some damage, but hopefully in the exchange, Adrenaline's Tro gets focused down. That's the hope anyway. Sasper narrowly avoiding death here, as Heart Attack, whoever that is, gets a shot off. So flag 6 is looking like it might fall. There's about 13 percentage points separating our 2 teams, and Rat King's team is definitely a little bit more robust here. We are sending some units across. Father Xmas is sending a few units over, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to take this flag out, as there's still this stupid white just hanging out. I didn't see what that was, but that was probably really good for our team, believe it or not, as a couple of those units soulless, and I didn't see what else. Maybe a Mortar Dwarf was taken out. However, Kruniak has this Mortar Dwarf, and so what he's about to pull is actually ingenious. He moves in with this Maul. He gets us to aggro on it, takes out Sasper's Mortar Dwarf, and freezes Giant Killer General, or stones actually, Giant Killer General's Tro. All of a sudden the momentum is in Rat King's, and is basically Rat King's teams. Arsenic tries to get a shot off, it gets blocked. It's going to try to narrowly gets that shot off, but only 1 Solus went down from that. So some nice splitting by Heart Attack, and another beautiful shot by Kruniak.
Sudden death.
And all of a sudden, there is nothing left on this flag, and Rat King's team is the victor. I think that what's his name, Father Xmas, tried to do a counterattack on flag 5, but it failed utterly, giving Rat King the game. So Rat King's team is up 1-0 so far in the series. And we'll go ahead and look at some of these individual players. The two people on Rat King's team that I don't know if they carried the team, but they definitely didn't hurt it at all, were Adrenaline, who had control of the Tro, and a pretty substantive Mercuridia force, and then Kruniak with that 13 kill, I believe it's 13 kills, yeah, 13 kill Dwarven Mortar. Basically crushed all opposition. So they between them they had, you know, over 30 kills. That's over half their team's kills. For our team, I guess the 2 top players were Sasper and Arsenic in the south. as they did manage to kind of not only blunt the advance of Cremisi and Sam the Butcher, but also, for a while at least, blunt the advance of the Northern Force that just ran over the noob force that we had in the north. And so they did a pretty good job, although neither one managed to break into positive ratios. 134 and 101 damage respectively by them. But at any rate, that's going to be a win for Rat King's team as we move into game number 2.